Hi everyone, welcome to Trek News with India Hikes. I'm Swati. Let's get started with today's headlines. So today in my Trek Bulletin, I have some very important updates for you which you must watch out for, especially if you're going on the Rupin Pass, Harkidun or Goechala treks. I also have some very other exciting announcements for you. Next, we'll have our slope updates where we bring to you the latest pictures from all our peak winter treks. It's going to give you a peek of what last week was like on all our treks, and it'll help you prepare better for your upcoming trek. After that, we'll have Suhas Saya, the head of our DIY team, give you a pro trek tip for your winter trek. He's just come back from Kuwari Pass doing it in peak winter, and he has some wonderful tips for you. Finally, we'll end with our DIY trek of the week, where Izzat from our team is talking about a wonderful trek in Maharashtra that she just did and came back. So let's get started. Let's get started with our Trek Bulletin. In this Trek Bulletin, my first announcement for you is that we have changed the itineraries of 3 high altitude treks, and these are fairly popular treks like Rupin Pass, Harkidun and Goechala. We have changed the itineraries of all 3 treks to make the experience a lot better, and I'll just explain it to you now. The first big change is in the Rupin Pass trek itinerary. So on the Rupin Pass trek, if you've gone on the trek, you'll know that the first day from Dhaula to Seva and then from Seva to Jiskun, both these days are fairly dry and very dusty trails. There's a big road construction that's been going on for years, and for a long time we wanted to avoid this trekking trail, and now this road construction has stretched all the way to Bauta, which is just below the Jiskun village. It's almost lower Jiskun. So we've been thinking that it does not make sense to take trekkers on this half road, half trekking trail, very dusty, dry road. So we've omitted both of these days from the trek itinerary, taking the trek from 9 days to 7 days. So the big change is we're starting the trek from Jiskun, which is in Himachal. So the pickup will be from Shimla and not from Dehradun, and you will be driving from Shimla to Jiskun through Rohru. Now there's a big bonus of starting the trek from Himachal, and that is the drive through Chanchil Ghati. It's one of the most beautiful drives which our founder Arjun Majumdar has done twice. So we want to hear from him about what that drive is like and what trekkers must watch out for. Take a look.
Chanchil Ghati is a very big treat for Rupin Pass trek. I'm glad this trek has now included Chanchil Ghati because it's like doing 2 treks in 1 trek. And I have been to this Chanchil Ghati a couple of times, and not many trekkers have actually done this, so they don't know what they are actually in for. Now Chanchil Ghati is a pass which goes almost up to 11,500 feet. So you are getting a chance to go and do a pass crossing on a motorable journey and get to see all what you get in a pass crossing typical. So there is this great forest that you're driving through, absolutely secluded, absolutely lonely. The rhododendrons, the oak trees and the pine coniferous trees all along this route, and you're going right in the thick of it. You burst open to these grasslands and huge grasslands that you see, and then your pass is actually over these grasslands, and then again you descend down to this another side of the forest, and finally to this village of Dodra that you get onto the other side. So for me, the drive to Chanchil Ghati, now I have done a lot of Himalayan drives from Kashmir to Himachal in Uttarakhand, Sikkim. I'm yet to see a drive which has given me as much pleasure as the Chanchil Ghati drive in the Himalayas.
Thanks for that, Arjun. What I really love about these changed itineraries is that even though we've shortened the itinerary and the duration of the trek, we've added to the experience for trekkers. And that's the same case with the Harkidun trek, where we have shortened the itinerary. So what was a 9-day trek is now an 8-day trek because we've combined the last 2 days of the trek. So what was happening earlier is the last 2 days were a little underwhelming for trekkers. You would camp at Gangad, where you already camped earlier while going up on the trek. So it was a repetitive experience, and also the last 2 days were very uneven. One was too long, one was too short. So we've combined the last 2 days of the trek so that you end on a high at Devsuthach, which is this beautiful clearing in the forest, and you also get this nice cultural experience of the Harkidun trek where you camp at Gangad and you see Osla, lots of cultural experiences. So you're not really missing out on anything. The only thing is that the last day becomes slightly longer. It goes up to 14 kilometers, but we've seen that trekkers usually manage this comfortably because most of it is a descent and you're getting down to Taluka. So that's the update on the Harkidun itinerary. Next, let's move on to the change in the itinerary of the Gochala trek. Now, Gochala as well, we have reduced the duration by 1 day. We are going to skip the Lamune campsite and go straight from Thansing all the way to Viewpoint 1 and come back to Thansing. Now, there's a big reason why we did this. For many years, the state government of Sikkim has disallowed trekking to Gochala, which is the actual pass, the end point of the trek. Now, over the past couple of years, the trek ends at Viewpoint 1, which shortens the distance. So with Gochala as the destination, the Lamune campsite made sense. But now with the shortened destination, the Lamune campsite did not make much sense anymore. So we've done away with the Lamune campsite. We'll be camping at Thansing, going all the way back and coming. This does not take anything away from the acclimatization, because in fact it's even better for acclimatization, because you're climbing to a certain altitude, climbing higher and coming back to a lower sleeping altitude, which is better for acclimatization. Most mountaineers do this. So this is going to be the change in the Gochala campsite. So for all of these changes in the itinerary, we've updated it on the website. Please go take a look and plan your travel according to these itineraries. Next in my trek bulletin, I have a wonderful update for you. Our first trek in our western campus in the Karjat region of Maharashtra went really well. Lots of families came, they drove down to the base camp at our western campus and they went and camped over there inside the Vijay Bhumi University at our campsite. It was the first time we were setting up something outside of the Himalayas. So within India Hikes, it was a very exciting time for us. Even for the families to be on an inaugural trek like this was something of an honor. So they all went on the trek. There were lots of experiences we had planned, including a trek to Kothali Gad. There were lots of children. They had spooky night walks on the trek. There was a lake where lots of them took a dip in the lake. There was an art session by the lakeside as well. So the trek went really well and our teams came back with big smiles, and so much so that we've opened another group to the Karjat trek in our western campus. We've opened it on February 5th, so go take a look at it on our website. We'll be taking only 18 trekkers, so please go ahead and sign up as soon as you see the date. Next in my trek bulletin, I have another big announcement for you, and that is that we've opened dates to one of the most popular treks in our country, and that's Valley of Flowers. I'm sure many of you have heard about Valley of Flowers already. It's a trek that is best done in July, August and September when the flowers are in bloom. So go ahead, we've opened dates in all of these months. Go take a look and start signing up, because we've already started getting registrations and you shouldn't be delaying, not for this trek. Next, we have our slope updates where we bring to you the latest from all our trekking trails. And this time, the year of 2021 started off with a big snowfall. So around Jan 5th, 6th, there was continuous snowfall on almost all our treks, which lasted almost 24 hours, which is a long time. Even on Jan 8th, there was another snowfall at Brahmatal. So almost all our treks have around 3-4 feet of snow right now, and the best part is it's not snowing anymore. So the sun is out, there's blue skies, there's lots of snow on the ground, and trekkers are having a ball. They also are getting to see this wonderful transition of grey to blue skies. They're getting to see lovely colors in the skies. So take a look at the latest pictures. Outside of these treks, we wrapped up on the Deoria Tal and Kuari Pass treks. We ended the winter season and we'll be headed back there in spring. If you haven't taken a look at them, we already have dates announced for all our spring treks and you may already be late in signing up. So please go head over there right now and sign up for any of these treks. Spring is a wonderful time to do the trek and you shouldn't be missing it. Next up, we have an expert trek tip from Suhas Saya. He's the head of our DIY team and he's just come back from Kuari Pass after leading 2 teams over there. He was there in peak winter and he has a really good tip for anybody trekking in winter.
I'm just coming back from the Kuari Pass trek and acclimatizing myself over here in the cities. There are a few couple of tips that I wanted to share with trekkers who are going in this peak of the winter season. So the first point is, always layer yourself as soon as you reach the campsite, because you have just trekked and you have generated that warmth, and it is very important that you start layering up once you reach the campsite and not wait until the evening time, because a lot of trekkers have seen that they wait for the sun to go down and then start layering up. Don't do that. Make sure that you start layering up as soon as you reach the campsite. I have another very secret tip of mine which I've been sharing with a lot of trekkers, and that is to carry a small bottle of eucalyptus oil. Now just carry this magical potion, just rub it over here and then wear your gloves or in the socks as well. That is going to give you the warmth that you wouldn't have imagined before. So that is one of the other tip that you should consider when you're going for this winter season.
Thanks for that, Suhas. Who knew eucalyptus oil could work wonders? Next up, we have Izzat, who's going to bring you our DIY trek of the day. This is a trek we suggest that you do on your own using all the information that we've documented about the trek. And today, Izzat is talking about a trek that she's just returned from, and it's in Maharashtra. Let's hear from her.
Hi, I'm here to speak about a trek that I have just returned from. This is the Kothaligarh trek in the Sahyadris, and it's a perfect getaway for anybody living in Pune or Mumbai. It's hardly 2.5 hours from there. This trek starts at the Ambiveli village, which is in Jamrung district. And from here, where you can park your cars and start the trek, it is 1,000 feet climb to the Pet village. And the beauty of this initial 1,000 feet is that you see these hills all around you. Wherever you see, it's open valleys and hills. And if you're there during the monsoon, thousands of waterfalls. So from this Pet village that you reach after 1,000 feet of climbing, from there to the foot of the Kothaligarh fort, it's a climb through a forest. There are huge boulders, there are rocky sections. You see birds and you hear all kinds of insects around you. It's a totally mysterious forest walk to the top. And when you reach the foot of the fort, you have these cannon guns and you are just thrown back into history. You can imagine what it would be in those days when this was actually used as a fort. Now here at the foot of the fort, you have a whole system of caves. You can literally walk through them. There's a temple, there's a water reservoir, and from the inside of one of these forts, one of these caves, you can literally climb up through the fort to the top of it. And this is really very exciting, especially for students or children who go along, where you can tell them stories about history while you do this. And at the top of the fort, you see 360 degrees of just hills and mountains and valleys all around you. It's absolutely breathtaking. This is a trek that I would encourage any family living close to Mumbai or Pune to actually go for. And if you want more details about the trek, you can check it out on our website and just take the GPX file and go ahead.
Thanks for that, Izzat. With that, we come to the end of this episode of Trek News with India Hikes. We've covered quite a bit today about the changed itineraries, about our new date for our program in the Western Campus, the new dates for Valley of Flowers, and a lot of slope updates as well. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch. I'm available on tws@indiahikes.com. You can also drop in a comment. Any of us from the India Hikes team will get back to you. And make sure you subscribe to our news channel, to our YouTube channel, and hit the bell icon next to it so that you are up to date with everything happening in the trekking world. We will be back in a fortnight. See you then.